Well, I think I finally have this figured out. Sort of. Shall we dance? 1, 2, 3, and let's get that. Oh, whoa! That music went down abruptly. Well, let's start the damn show. How about that? Good freaking Wednesday morning. Hump day on the Morning Night Live. How y'all doing? Welcome, and I'm glad we've got this thing figured out, sort of. I just realized as I was setting up the show this morning that now I can connect my stream labs to Twitter, and I did, or X or whatever, and so I did that. And here, I'm just gonna shut this music off now. And I but then for whatever reason, when I started the show, the whole thing reverted back to the old stream from yesterday. And so all the things say the wrong title and everything. I'm like, how do I fix that? So I just started over. And that's what we did. So anyway, happy hump day. We're going to start the show. I'm not even going to preview the show because I'm so late that I got to get it going. So, and I have 80,000 tabs open. So Johnny, just play the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
God, this. What the hell? I've hit this multiple times. Okay. Shall we try it again? Fuck me. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet, and I'm having multiple technical difficulties this morning. It's driving me nuts. So here I am, the one that you love, with a voice and sound. So that's good. So I've had a lot of problems this morning because the Streamlabs has decided to add some more little features and things to do, and I click on buttons and stuff, and when I click on buttons and stuff, for whatever reason, it reverts some of the stuff back to the stuff you did yesterday. And so I was trying to fix that. In the meantime, fixing that, it all got messed up. So the title's wrong. Everything's wrong. On X, it has the wrong title. Today's show is called, I don't know what the hell, Who to Blame? Something like that. It's the 1145th episode of the Morning Night Live on this hump day known as Wednesday, the 10th of October, 2023, the year of our Lord. So let's just get it started. I'm going to say hello, and then I'm going to get it going. No one's watching. I have a viewer on X. Hello, viewer on X. So let's say hi to the troops, though. First person in Rumble over there is Mr. Avocados Diablo. He gets the bell for being first. Also, good morning, Cannibalistic Wizard with the multiple honks. And that's it. That's everyone on Rumble. Probably everybody left by now because I was having so much trouble. And then over on YouTube, I know AD and Kara Soldier were both over there about the same time. So I'm going to give the bell to Kara Soldier just because you've earned it. You've been there and almost every day since the first time you're here, and I appreciate you. So I'm going to give you that. Also, good morning, of course, Avocados Diablo and Chicago Mike, Simon Wolfwood, Attack Alpaca, C. Thomas, penis, Frank Capps is back in the house. Also, good morning, my favorite Canadian Jaeger pony, Rick Ashbringer, and there's people who probably came and left. Simon Wilkins, what's up? Good morning. Scribe Light, what's up? Dog Thrapple. Lord Stanhope and Tyler F. And okay, I think everyone's that's everyone. No, fake news experts in the house. Chris Kroll, what's up? Good morning to Rod Line. Welcome back. Also, good morning to Don Julio, Gulf City Biker and Trash Man. And, and the Grand Inquisitor, Mr. Tyre Alexander. Good morning to you, sir. I said Simon Wolf, what I think. And I think I'm getting caught up. Is that everybody? Is that everybody? I don't even know. I mean, people are strolling in. Of course, y'all making fun of me. Woodcut is in the house. What's up? Nice to see you. And Anna Lynn, nice to having you here. So if you're here and you're watching on YouTube, say hi, hit the like button, do all that stuff. Same thing on Rumble. I don't know what you should do on Twitter. I suppose you could. There's a like on Twitter too, right? You can like a post. You hit that little heart. If you happen to be watching over there, I appreciate that. So there has been, well, the news is being dominated clearly by Israel. We noted yesterday. We kind of tried to avoid it a little bit yesterday, but unfortunately, there's just so much going on there, and so I have to do that. By the way, if you shared the show on Twitter this morning, if you retweeted or anything, that's all messed up. So just delete it, unless you just did it very recently, like Somnambule Nation. You got the right link on there for YouTube, whatnot. But oh, it looks like, well, no, has any of these other been fixed? No, wait, that might be wrong too. Okay, just start over. just start over, just like oh, and Zed the Snarky, what's up? I see you. Okay, I see you there, and I knew you were here earlier. So what happened too? That YouTube chat got messed up when I had to restart everything too. So I don't know the order and who was all here, but I appreciate you all making it back. So let's just get right into it, because there's just so much going on. And the first thing that I've noticed, what is that? That is not where I wanted to be. Oh, good God. See, now everything's messed up. Okay, that's there. There's the notifications. That's good. I don't need that. Let's just start with some news. And a couple things that I noticed this morning when I was rumbling through the app, formerly known as Twitter. Hey, Cyan Wizard, nice to see you. The first one was a tweet by Letitia James, the AG of the state of New York. And she tweeted this out. And I've been talking about this for a long time, but I'm going to say it again because of the wonderful things it does. Here she tweeted out this morning: Donald Trump's Art of the Steal. Trump's triplex apartment in Trump Tower is 10,966 square feet. Yet for years, he claimed it was 30,000 square feet to inflate its value and help enrich himself and his family. Apparently, Letitia doesn't know shit about real estate. It's right on. Yes, a preemptive FTG. Tomorrow's FTG, Thursday, but we're doing it today. Now, this statement is stupid. Okay? It is a stupid statement. Everyone knows who has ever dealt in real estate that if he was using the value of the 30,000 square feet of his property to inflate its value, wouldn't somebody go in there and say, oh, well, we should probably measure that, right? How does he enrich himself and his family by claiming his apartment was 30,000 square feet? Now, I don't know a bank in the country. I don't know anybody, any real estate investor or investment in the country that does not get an appraisal first. Nobody. How do you enrich yourself off of that apartment? It's so stupid. It's stupid. Now, Now, some people pointing out as I scroll down through some of the replies to this, though, which I found interesting. Apparently, Letitia James has a net worth of $15 million, annual income $4 million, other income $3.9 million, stock portfolio $2.6 million, salary $103,375 per year. Wait a minute, what? How the hell did she do that? Should that be investigated? A lot of people are asking that question, but I don't think that matters either. The point is, that's stupid. And I don't know why she's tweeting it. Some other people thinking, are you trying to win in the courtroom or in the court of public opinion? Really bizarre behavior by a prosecutor that only confirms this entire charade is political. I give that a ding. And then and oh, by the way, apparently someone says, this is Laura Loomer. Now, we don't know. Laura Loomer is a little bit loony. But that's okay. She's a very heavy-duty supporter of Trump. How can you accuse President Trump of financial wrongdoing when you yourself have been intentionally hiding a dark money loan and appeared to have committed mortgage fraud? What? I don't know about that. Anyway, but many people have been pointing out that Letitia's little tweet there doesn't make any sense because, first of all, inflating the value of a single apartment, or excuse me, the square footage to help enrich himself and his family. How exactly did he enrich himself and his family on that? And also, what's weird about this whole case is not a single company is suing Trump for not repaying any of his loans. That's the weird thing too. Not a single company. Who is the victim of the crime here? This thought up crime. Anyway, so that was interesting. Good morning, C. Thomas, first sponsor of the day. Thank you for sponsoring the show, sir. Dropping a deuce in the tip jar through YouTube Super Chat that says, couldn't she at least pretend to be objective? Well, that would not fulfill any of her campaign promises if she pretended to be objective. Oh my gosh, everything's messed up here. Hold on. So anyway, you can if you want to sponsor, you can drop, you can use YouTube Super Chats. You can use Rumble Rants. You can go to pdognight.live/tips and drop, if you want to drop tips in the tip jar. For some reason now, as Streamlabs, everything's messed up today. You know what happened? I bet you Streamlabs did an update, and that's why everything's messed up. So even my CloudBot's messed up. Is it off? It is. Well, it says it's on. All right, we'll put it back on. We'll just do it again. All right. Anyway, that should pop up in the chat on YouTube, but pdognight.live. That's where you go. pdognight.live. And you can sponsor the show there. That's the best place, but I appreciate Super Chats too. I'll take it wherever I can get it. All right. Also, let's see. What was the other thing I highlighted? Oh, now, our friend Tall Person, who's often shows up here, often gives us the special days of the month, the special days of the month that we always get, like, Left-Handed Cat Day, right? And it's National Left-Handed Cat Day. And so under this post by this person this is in Minneapolis, actually. I believe this is somewhere in Minneapolis. There's a 13-year-old boy who in 8th grade in his school, he decided to record something that his teacher did. Okay. I'm going to get into the other stuff in a minute. I'm going to try to get through this really quick. And his mother, I don't know if it was his mother or father, a parent, decided to write this post. And I found it was very interesting because I want to get into, I'll explain why I preface this with the Tall Person in the special days, because you'll get it in a second. Because remember, the most oppressed people in the world right now is the LGBTQ plus community, but actually just the T's, because, everyone's pretty much, look, the LGs and Bs, they do their thing and nobody cares, right? They're not pushing anything out of it. They're not, for the most part, it's like, they exist. And we're cool with that, and we've already done all the stuff, but it's usually teens. But anyway, here's what this person wrote, my son is 13. He is in 8th grade. He, like many kids his age, has been wary of taking a stand against this, meaning the constant drumbeat of LGBTQ plus, mostly the T education. He has just tried to tolerate it all, hoping it will pass within the next semester or the next, but it never does. So he came home yesterday and told me he'd taken some pictures and video of the things around his school. That it's everywhere. And he wanted us to see. He knows how I feel, but I always tell him it's not his fight. It's ours to change for them. I do my best not to put it on his or his sister's shoulders and just let them live. Like, just keep your head down and keep going, right? Hello, JB, by the way. And Reaccion Puerto Rico is in the house. Okay, but yesterday, he told us that he really wanted to show us it all. He said between all this and active shooter drills and the way kids are not controlled in class at all, they barely have any actual learning time, and that's why nobody can read anymore. This was video he discreetly took in class yesterday and pictures of things he wanted us to see around his school and classrooms. He wanted us to see it all. And he told me it was okay for me to share with y'all because he wants a change. His friends do too. I've blanked out kids' work, names of teachers, etc. for their privacy. These kids want our help. Let's make damn sure they get it. And so here's some of the video he took. He had this video here. Hang on, let me full screen here. So he took this video. Listen to this. Where's the volume? So, because it's apparently this is for October is LGBTQ plus History Month, not to be confused with Pride Month, not to be confused with the list that I'm about to show you. Because the most oppressed people on the planet are LGBTQ. Now, the other thing too, okay, when I was in school, like, you know, I'm pretty old, right? And it was just at the end of the civil rights movement. I don't remember everything on the planet being about the oppression of black folks in school, right? We learned math, English, history / social studies. We had art class. We went outside. We had gym, and I don't remember everything being about a single subject and everything on the planet, on the school walls, and everything having to do with that subject. But I'm going to continue here. Hold on.
94 and is on the National Education Association's list of commemorative months.
Commemorative month.
National Coming Out Day.
National Coming Out Day. Oh.
October 20th.
Oh, Spirit Day.
On which people wear purple to support
the entire damn month.
October 12th.
Why? Why are they doing this? Hang on.
The day in 1998 that Matthew Shepard, a young gay man in Wyoming, was beaten to death in a hate crime. Shepard became the symbol for acceptance and equal rights. Now the month of October.
Oh, the kids are so excited.
To learn about LGBT history, but also
the entire month.
The achievements of lesbian, gay.
The achievements. What? What's your achievement? You're just people. Look, and it's funny because the achievements, we're so concerned about what they are and not who they are. It's really weird. So anyway, and then he showed us, on the school walls. I didn't feel like myself. I found out why, something about being transing themselves. And right here, safe something zone fucking whatever. And then this, they got the LGBTQIA plus LMNOP flag with the black and brown symbols. Because, you can't just be LGBTQ. You have to determine if you're a black or brown LGBTQ plus AI LMNOP. And, of course, another rainbow flag over there. So it's everywhere, right? And, we have this discussion about, how tough it is, just the oppression of the community. And look, I gotta be honest with you. Most of the gay and lesbian people I know, now maybe it's just the ones I know, but they're not really into all this. I mean, they get it, and but some of them are embarrassed by this because it's just getting so out of hand, especially when it comes to the T's. So anyway, it is important to point out the holidays. So I want to make sure that you see the holidays how many holidays are centered around what you are and not what you've done. All right. So here's the list. This is a brilliant list here. Watch. Let's go through them. Okay. February 29th through 25th is Aromantic Spectrum Awareness Week. Now, whatever the hell, if anyone can explain that in the chat, please go ahead. March 21 to 25th, LGBTQIA plus Health Awareness Week. Okay, so we have to health aware. Then March 31st, Transgender Day of Visibility. Then we have April 6th, International Asexuality Day. April 13th, International Day of Pink, Day Opposing Homophobia. April 14th, Day of Silence. April 20th, now which, Day of Silence, come on. They won't shut the fuck up about it. Come on. April 26th, Lesbian Visibility Day. May 17th, International Day Against Homophobia, Biphobia, and Transphobia. I didn't know there was a such thing as biphobia. Who's scared of people who go both ways? They are welcome to wherever they go. That just came out of my mouth, didn't it? May 19th, Agender Pride Day. Oh, they have a special day for agender people. How about B gender people? C gender people? Do they all get a day? May 22nd, Harvey Milk Day. Now, I get Harvey Milk Day, okay? Harvey Milk, if you do a Harvey Milk Day in San Francisco, that's great. Do we have to do Harvey Milk Day across the country? I don't think so. Then we got the 25th, pansexual and pan-romantic awareness day. Those are the people who just don't give a shit. They'll do anybody and maybe some animals. Anyway, entire month of June is Pride Month, okay? Because, again, these are the most oppressed people in the world. We have special days for June 23rd, Stonewall Day. June 28th, International LGBTQ plus Day. July 14th, International Non-Binary People Day. Let's not. July 16th, International Drag Day. I didn't know drag was a sexuality or whatever, but September 16th through 23rd, Bisexual Awareness Week. September 23rd, celebrate Bisexuality Day. And the entire month of October is LGBTQ History Month because they get a Pride Month and a History Month. When do Black people get a Pride Month? Or do, the Lithuanian Coptic Christians, do they get a special day or anything? October 8th, International Lesbian Day. October 11th, National Coming Out Day. October 17th to 24th, Gender Fluid Visibility Week. I do not want to see any of your gender fluid. October 19th, International Pronoun Day. October 19th is also Spirit Day, support for LGBTQ plus youth. Wear purple. October 23rd to 29th, Asexual Awareness Week. October 26th, Intersex Awareness Day. For all the 0.18% of intersex people, it's Intersex Awareness Day. Entire month of November, they got another month, Trans Awareness Month. Holy fuck. November 5th, Transparent Day, as in not transparent, they can't see you, but trans parents of trans, because they get a special day, because if you are a parent of a trans kid, that makes you special too. So maybe some people, well, never mind. I probably shouldn't talk about that. Anyway, and then November 8th is Intersex Day of Remembrance. Wait a minute. Intersex Day of Remembrance, didn't they just have Intersex Awareness Day? On October 26th, Intersex Awareness Day, but then they get an Intersex Day of Remembrance. Why? Are intersex people being persecuted and murdered all over the world or something? I haven't heard of this. November 13th through 19th, Transgender Awareness Week, and November 20th, Transgender Day of Remembrance. So we have all these days, constant. I mean, and most of them are during the school year, so the kids have to celebrate every single one of them. I don't get it. I don't get it. The most impressive people on the planet. The fact that America has only 31 celebrations for LGBTQIA2S+ just proves how horribly oppressed, how they're horribly oppressed. Every other group gets at least 32 holidays. Okay, see? Because everyone else gets 32 holidays and they are oppressed because they only get 31 freaking holidays. Oh my God. Okay. Rant complete. Thank you, C. Thomas. Oh, I had that. Look, the list here, it's going to be in the links today. Here's the list. This is the list. That's how long it is. That is a list of 31 special days for the LGBTQIA plus 2S and more peoples. All right. Thank you, C. Thomas. Another sponsored show one more time through this time through Streamlabs. Dropping a deuce in the tip jar, which I will clean up later. This constant hammering on about alphabet. Oh wait, there's another one. Oh, that messed me up. All right, thank you, C. Thomas. This constant hammering on about the cartoons is why all activists should be banned from being teachers. We wouldn't tolerate Jewish teachers crying about the Holocaust all year. Oh, ouch. I read that. I don't know if I should have. But yeah, I mean, are all we talking about how oppressed people are now in schools? Is that why our kids can't read? Is that why they can't do math? Is that why the proficiency tests are way down? And parents have started to figure this out thanks to COVID, because when they were having to do all this crap at home and the parents are like, looking over his shoulder like, are you ever going to add 2 + 3? Are you ever going to learn about any history? Are you ever going to learn how to spell, Johnny? Can you write in print and cursive? Not that writing is as important, but I think people should still be able to write with their hands. What if your computer doesn't work and you got to take notes? I'm sorry, you need to be able to write. And these motherfuckers can't write or spell or don't know shit about anything but everyone else's sexuality, which is none of their goddamn business as far as I'm concerned. Real quick, thank you. And again, Tyre Alexander, I'm sorry, by the way, C. Thomas, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, sir, for dropping that deuce. And dropping another deuce, C. Thomas says, now I'm going to be... I'm just reading these. By the way, the verbiage of certain, super chats and things like that do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the host or the Morning Night Live. I just read them and you decide what to do with them. So thank you, C. Thomas. Another deuce dropped into the tip jar saying, fuck all these degenerate alphabet trash days and let's bring up a day worth celebrating. November 11th, both Veterans Day and the birthday of Sergeant Major Daniel Daly, the 2nd Marine and last to earn 2 Medals of Honor. Yes, sir. I think those are good days to remember, and we will definitely remember those when those days come up. Thank you, C. Thomas. Greatly appreciated. Respond to the show. Also, let's see. I got another one here. Let me... looks like, oh, there we go. Tyre the Terrible, thank you for sponsoring the show, dropping a big bullet in the tip jar, aka a 223, who says there's only one holiday, the LGBT day of shutting the... Okay, I laugh because it's funny in a way. Although I don't necessarily want LGBTQ people to shut the fuck up. I just don't need a holiday every 3 weeks. You know, the only months that they don't have covered right now, and I should not say this because then it'll give them some ideas, are January and December. Every month. February, March, April, May, June, July. Oh, no, August. So January, August, and December. That must be when they go to like South Beach for vacation or some shit. I don't know. And then December, I guarantee you one of these days they're going to add an LGBTQ plus holiday to December 25th because, December 25th is Christmas and that's just for racist white people. In their minds, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, Tyler the Taylor, I'm going to try to read this and not laugh. I'm going to try to get through it. Here we go. Tyler the Terrible says, there's only one holiday, the LGBT day of shutting the fuck up. It is from January 1st to December 31st, 365 days of shutting the fuck up. Please observe it as the most holiest of holidays. Thank you, Tyler Alexander. You are a great American. And then another deuce from C. Thomas. Thank you, sir, saying, come on, you sons of bitches. You want to live forever? Daniel Daly, 1918, during the Battle of Below Wood. Yeah, Daniel Daly, World War I hero, 2 Medals of Honor. Amazing story. Okay, let's see. December has National Queer Santa Day. It does not. Don't say that, please. I'm sure there is something like that. All right, let's get into. We're gonna have to go through just headlines today because that rant took me a little too long, and I've started late because I'm having trouble with the technical stuff here. Let's go. Let's check out just some. We're just gonna go through headlines of things happening in this work, and I have like 40 of them, so we'll see how many we get through. Wait, are they going to change the holiday Queersmas? Well, I would not be shocked if that happened. I mean, it's getting ridiculous, and the fact that our kids spend so much time in school on identity and not the things that look. I got an idea for the schools. Okay, how about we do this? Make sure the kids can read. Okay, make sure they can read, and make sure that they can do a few other things like either math or science or, speak in front of other people or something. Let's teach them things that are useful, but especially they can learn to read. And then if they want to read about that shit later, they'll be able to, and you won't have to indoctrinate them by playing movies in class about October being LGBTQ plus awareness month. How about that? How about that? Let's do that. Let's make sure they can read. Because right now, y'all are failing because you got too much of an agenda. Okay? I say F your agenda. All right, let's get into some news. And this is going to be just kind of lightning round the whole day because of my lack of ability to set up a stream properly. So here we go. Apparently, because now you heard about the hospital that got destroyed in Gaza, right? Now they first blamed on the Israelis, and then it was figured out that, oh no, that wasn't the Israelis. It was the Hezbollah mistakenly bombed the hospital in Gaza trying to shoot rockets from it or something. It wasn't the Americans. Okay. So now, and in our solidarity with Israel that we've had for a long time, apparently the White House vows tough questions for Netanyahu and wants 0 civilian casualties. Now that's pretty fascinating, considering that the whole beginning of this was civilian casualties for the Israelis. But I can understand the Israelis are trying. Hello, did I say high unacceptable views? Maybe. The Israelis are trying to minimize civilian casualties, which is not exactly Hamas and Hezbollah's goals, right? Because they want to kill. I'm going to temper my sentence here. All of the Jews, right? That's their stated goal. And not just in Israel, throughout the world. They want them all gone, right? So anyway, John Kirby, the White House National Security Coordinator for Strategic Communications, told reporters aboard Air Force One en route to Israel on Tuesday evening that President Joe Biden would have tough questions for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu when they met Wednesday morning. Oh, fan-fucking-tastic. Joe Biden, is he gonna stay awake for the questions though? Because if he goes over there and talks and has tough questions, the tough questions are going to be which flavor of ice cream to choose. Anyway, Biden's trip was intended to show solidarity with Israel in its war against the Palestinian terrorist group Hamas, which attacked Israel without provocation on October 7th and murdered about 1,400 people. Now that's the new death toll. But after the Palestinians and their allies blamed Israel for an explosion in a hospital in Gaza City that reportedly killed hundreds of people, Biden appeared to be taking a different stance, promising that U.S. officials would investigate. Notably, Kirby refused to say that the U.S. gave Israeli officials the benefit of the doubt when they categorically denied that Israel had anything to do with the explosion. Israel blamed the explosion on a misfired rocket aimed at Israeli civilians fired by the Palestinian Islamic Jihad. Kirby also dodged questions about whether the White House believed Israel was living up to the promise to obey international law. Well, there's a whole lot of folks going on there not obeying the so-called international law. It's not a good thing, and I'm sure that You know, it's funny because it's always been the Israelis who seem to have wanted to live in peace, and there's always been this faction who wanted to drive them from from the river to the sea. Is that they have a song about that in Gaza, that they don't think that these people they don't think the other people should live. Good morning, Selected Boy, by the way.
Yeah, boy.
So anyway, that's the headline. Let's move on. The other one I have here: Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas has canceled a meeting with Biden on the war in Israel. So Netanyahu will be meeting with Biden, but apparently Abbas is not going to. Well, that's helpful. Palestinian National Authority President Mahmoud Abbas has canceled a meeting with Joe Biden in Jordan shortly after the hospital explosion in Gaza that the Israeli Defense Forces concluded was the result of a misfire by Palestinian Islamic Jihad. Biden left for Israel on Tuesday on Air Force One after meeting with Israeli leaders, is scheduled to fly to Jordan, where King Abdullah II will host the U.S. president, as well as President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi of Egypt and Abbas. Now Abbas will be a no-show. So, well, that's not going to do anyone any good. Also, and according to the IDF, as we just mentioned earlier, the Palestinian Islamic Jihad rocket misfired caused the hospital explosion. The Iranian-backed Palestinian Islamic Jihad, PIJ for short, I guess, terror organization was responsible for an explosion at the Ali Baptist Hospital in Gaza City due to a misfired rocket intended to kill Israeli civilians, according to Israeli Defense Forces. The explosion, which reportedly killed hundreds of people, sparked outrage. Oh, gee. Sparked outrage? You mean continued outrage? Sparked outrage with Palestinian Authority leader Mahmoud Abbas pulling out of a meeting Wednesday with U.S. President Joe Biden. So more details than that in the article. By the way, all these links, every article will be listed in the description, and I'll drop them in the chat at the end of the show during the outro. Thank you, C. Thomas, by the way. Appreciate another sponsoring, another deuce in the tip jar. C. Thomas, you are still, well, that's on a Streamlabs, but that's okay. You mean Hamas wants maximal casualties, sir? Well, no, not at all. Okay. And what's interesting is Joe Biden made a statement right after that, who said, "I am outraged and deeply saddened by the explosion at the Arab hospital in Gaza." Oh, by the way, this is his Twitter account, so he has writers. He doesn't do anything on his Twitter account. He has a committee that writes his Twitter feed. Well, he has a committee that does everything for him because he is the committee-controlled president. But anyway, I'm outraged and deeply saddened by the explosion at Al-Ahli Arab Hospital in Gaza and the terrible loss of life that resulted. Immediately upon hearing the news, I spoke with King Abdullah II of Jordan and Prime Minister Netanyahu of Israel, and have directed my national security team to continue gathering information about what exactly happened. The United States stands unequivocally for the protection of civilian life during conflict, and we mourn the patients, medical staff, and other innocents killed or wounded in this tragedy. And look, that is the right thing to do for the civilians and, the patients or whatever that are not part of this, I don't know what to call it. It's conflict, war, or whatever. Look, if it had been the Israeli forces that had done this, probably because they do military targets under sensitive locations like hospitals, like schools, like mosques, and that's where they get blown up. But this time it was an errant rocket, according to the IDF. Also going on, angry mobs target American and Israeli outposts throughout the Middle East. So because the Americans support Israel, their places are being protested too. Angry mobs throughout the Middle East and North Africa targeted Israeli, American, French, and other Western embassies on Tuesday night. Footage of the protest shows mobs setting fires and prompting widespread use of tear gas by riot police responding to mass killing of hundreds in a Gaza hospital, reportedly caused by a misfired Palestinian jihadist rocket. Hundreds, estimates in the range from 200 to 500 people were killed after a bomb fell over the Ali Baptist Hospital in Gaza City Tuesday. Local authorities controlled by the jihadists terrorist organization Hamas immediately blamed the Israeli government for the killings, describing the bombing as alleged retaliation for the mass murder of civilians by Hamas terrorists on Israeli territory on October 7th. The Israeli government denied the accusations and claimed to have evidence that the rocket that landed on the hospital belongs to an Iranian-backed terrorist organization with ties to Hamas, a Palestinian Islamic Jihad. So obviously conflicting reports, but that's as much information as there is so far. In the Daily Wire, Hezbollah calls for a day of unprecedented anger at Israel and the U.S. U.S. issues Lebanon travel advisory. Well, I think there probably should always be a Lebanon travel advisory for Americans, but, to each his own. Hezbollah, an Iranian-backed terrorist group that is based in Lebanon, called for a day of unprecedented rage. That's just a weird name. Anger. I'm sorry, unprecedented anger, as opposed to rage. Unprecedented anger. Could you see those words coming out of our president's mouth? I think we should need to have a day of unprecedented anger. Anyway, directed at Israel after there was an explosion at the hospital in Gaza, killing hundreds of people. So, look, everything's about this hospital. And look, the loss of life there is it's tragic. I don't want there to be, the Palestinian people who are just trying to live their lives and go back in and out of Gaza to Israel to work, which, they have a work visa program. Lots of people in Gaza work in Israel. A lot of people in the open air prison, so-called, in Gaza, work in Israel and go in and out of Gaza every day into Israel. And there's some people saying, let's just cut that off now because it's just, we do everything we can to be good neighbors, and all they do is try to come in and kill people. It's just weird. Also in the Daily Wire, Israeli forensic scientists struggle to identify bodies left unrecognizable by brutal Hamas attacks. Now, a lot of, we've been getting this theme from the people who think Israel is the devil and, or who are pro-Palestinian, which is a weird historical misnomer. Forensic pathologists in Israel are struggling to identify the hundreds of bodies recovered in the aftermath of the horrific terror attacks perpetrated by Hamas over the last 10 days, some of which have been rendered unrecognizable by the brutality of the attacks. The number of forensic pathologists have spoken out about their experience over the last week, with even those who have decades of experience in the field saying that they have never seen anything this horrible. I'm not going to watch the video, but we've interviewed the experts who conduct autopsies on the bodies of Hamas massacre victims. I've never seen people that are conjoined together while they are burned trying to hug each other, like they were burning people alive or burning people afterwards. Dr. Chen Kugel, head of the Israeli National Center for Forensic Medicine, showed the burned body of an adult who had been killed by Hamas while hiding in a shelter, and explained how he could tell that the victim had been burned alive. We see here one of the cases, which is an example of the atrocities that we have seen in the tragic events in Israel. This is a burned body, of course, an adult, but we know that he was burned while he was alive because we can see the soot in the trachea of this person. They couldn't shoot him because he was inside a shelter, Kugel continued, so they burned the house, so everybody that was inside was burned while he was alive. And this is only one example of many atrocities many horrible, horrific things that we are seeing here in this tragedy that happened in Israel. He continued, I am 31 years a forensic pathologist. I'm used to seeing dead people, but I never saw people that are conjoined together while they are burned trying to hug each other, Kugel said, and his voice broke as he tried to rein in his emotions. And according to the report by the Daily Mail, there are nearly 300 bodies that have been so badly burned or brutalized in the terrorist attack that they have not been identified, and forensic pathologists who have been tasked with identifying them are stressed to the breaking point. I don't even know. I can't even say. I have no words for that. That's it's disgusting, and it kind of explains a little bit how Hamas works. Interesting, in the country of Jordan, King Hussein, is it King Hussein? The King of Jordan announced that the country will not be accepting any Palestinian refugees from the Gaza Strip, along with Egypt, in a press conference Tuesday. On the main issues of refugees coming to Jordan, I think I can quite strongly speak on behalf of not only Jordan as a nation, but our friends in Egypt, King Abdullah II said. That is a red line, because I think that is the plan by certain of the usual suspects to try to create de facto issues on the ground. They're not letting him back in. They've already kicked him out once, and they're not letting him be refugees there. So, I would assume, they're saying, well, where are they going to go? I guess, well, right now, Israel's not attacking the West Bank. Clearly, the Abbas, who's based in the West Bank, is he going to let the people from Gaza come there? That'll be interesting. Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Who says, have liberal Jewish people had their oy vey wake-up call after the Hamas supporting left that celebrate the killing of Israeli citizens? Like how they're always asking black conservatives, if we had a nigga wake-up call, I'll wait.
That's right.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite. So anyway, yeah, Jordan and Egypt says, not so fast. Not so fast. Which, I mean, and that makes it harder for the people of Gaza. They want the people of Gaza. Israel's asking the people of Gaza, hey, this is where we're bombing. You better get out. We're giving you a chance. And then the Hamas says, no. We want the human shields. We want the bodies. We want to show pictures of the bodies. That's kind of what they do. Now, remember I said that Ron DeSantis was doing some kind of an airlift for Floridians who are in that region. Apparently, there's more to that story. Yesterday, we reported that Florida Governor Ron DeSantis cut through the red tape to rescue Floridans stranded in Israel. What we didn't know is that he's also planning to pick up non-Floridian Americans as well as those Joe Biden dumped in Greece. On Monday night, DeSantis told Megyn Kelly, we knew there'd be people that wanted to get back, many hundreds, maybe even more than 1,000, and they were not getting any luck with the State Department or with the embassy. So I did an executive order last week activating Florida emergency response to be able to bring planes in there and take people back home. Why does it take a governor to do this? Granted, and look, I know DeSantis is running for president, but would he have done this if he were not running for president? I don't know. He may have. But why? Why does it take, and granted, the question also is, is it the government's responsibility to get those people over here? Well, if they're in government jobs, diplomats, things like that, I think it would be. But for whatever reason, does Florida have an Air Force? Yeah, I don't think so. That's weird. It is weird. But anyway, so I did an executive order last week activating Florida emergency response to be able to bring planes in there and take people back home. So we had the first plane of 271 on Sunday night. He added, noting that there were 91 children on board. I had mothers that were stranded with 3 or 4 kids. I had one family with 10 kids that they were trying to get back to Florida. 10 kids? Gee, Christmas. He explained that the rescue flights were not limited to Floridians. If there are people that are struggling to get to Georgia or New York or whatever, we're all Americans and we want to help people, but it is limited to Americans. So it is just Americans that they're doing that. Now, let's see. The Biden administration is going to charge people fleeing a war zone and then dump them in Greece, he's added. They're not even bringing them back to the United States. So we have more flights coming. The next one will be Tuesday morning. We are taking people from Israel, but we're also going to stop in Athens, Greece, to pick up people that the federal government may have stranded. So we anticipate many hundreds more that we will be able to rescue over the next couple of days, and we're happy to do it. Okay, well, good for them. Maybe some other governors could jump in and do that too, but again, they're not all running for president. Then there's just a editorial in Human Events saying support Israel but keep American soldiers out of it, which I concur. Look, the Israelis have one of the most advanced armies in the world and very capable, and let them do their thing. And let's not put any American boots in the ground. I'm not even sure why we're sending, I guess the reason we're sending the American carrier groups over there is to deter Iran from jumping into this fray. But remember, what is it, the 6-day war when all the surrounding Arab nations attacked Israel and they clean clock? They have, the Israelis have technologies and the capabilities of as strong as probably any army in the world. Even though they're small, they are mighty. So, by the way, Black Hebrews, like, welcome to the show on Rumble, even though you've already sponsored us. So anyway, this is an editorial why you need to keep us out of it, because certainly we haven't stayed out of Ukraine, but at least Israel will buy their own weapons. That we don't have to give them aid. Well, we do give them aid, but whatever. In the New York Post, an article about why we needed to dump the United Nations from Betsy McCoggy. The United Nations is useless. Well, that's enough. That's the entire article. Thank you, Betsy. You did a great job. That was a fantastic article. That's all I needed to hear. Oh, wait, she has more if you want to read about it. The United States is pouring more than $12 billion a year of our tax money down the UN rat hole and squandering a better opportunity. The dream behind the UN's founding to provide international forum for peaceful cooperation and the prevention of war doesn't have to be discarded. America should lead the democratic nations to establish a new forum and junk the UN. Look, when you have a UN Security Council that has had countries like what is it? What's the one that I was just could not believe? Like, was it Iran on the UN Security Council or some shit like that? It's like, why? Why are we still propping up this organization? Half the organization now are countries that hate us. Just get rid of them. Look, the first line is all you need. The United Nations is useless. It certainly is. All right, in the Daily Wire, we got, AOC! AOC is complaining because Ron DeSantis says Palestinians are anti-Semitic, and she says it's incredibly destructive and dangerous. Now, I've been seeing this argument because I've seen the argument, and I don't know if she's making this argument, and we'll figure it out in a second. In the United States, anti-Semitic generally means anti-Jewish, right? But technically, most of the tribes in this region of Israel and around the surrounding areas are technically Semitic people, right? It's a race, not a religion. But, when we say in the United States anti-Semitic, we're talking about anti-Jewish, right? So Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez criticized Governor Ron DeSantis this week for his comments about not allowing Palestinian refugees from Gaza to come into this country. Well, there's another reason. Because how do you know they're refugees and not disguising themselves as refugees to cause problems here? That's the reason. But the remarks come as Hamas, a Palestinian terrorist organization, murdered more than 1,400 people. We already know that. Everyone knows that. I guess every article has to do that. But anyway, so DeSantis says, I don't know what Biden's going to do, but we cannot accept people from Gaza into this country as refugees. I'm not going to, and he told supporters at a rally on Saturday, I'm not going to do that. If you look at how they behave, not all of them are Hamas, but all of them are anti-Semitic. None of them believe in Israel's right to exist. Now that's because, again, I bet she says this. DeSantis noted that none of the Arab states are willing to take any of them, and those countries are the ones that should ultimately be responsible for helping Palestinian Arabs. And that's the thing. The Jordanians don't want them. The Egyptians don't want them. Not that they're an Arab. Well, I guess they're not technically not an Arab nation, but none of the other Arab nations want to take them in either. So why should we? That's the thing. Anyway, Ocasio-Cortez joined CNN on Monday night, where she urged that Israel not respond strongly to the atrocities, which also injured 3,000 Israelis and resulted in hundreds of kidnappings. She said that Arab nations not wanting to accept Palestinian refugees does not abdicate the United States from our historic role that we have played in the world of accepting refugees and allowing people to restart their lives here. No, that should tell you something. Why does that tell you something? Also, I want to address something very specific about what Governor Ron DeSantis said when he said all Gazans are anti-Semitic, she continued. How incredibly destructive and dangerous that rhetoric is. She said his remarks were reckless and no leader in the United States of America should be amplifying that kind of message. Well, their leader, or at least the people of Gaza who have elected Hamas, right, as their leaders don't believe that the Jews should exist. So I don't know. It's hard to say. It's a tough call because a lot of them work in Israel, but then their leaders say that Jews should not be allowed to exist. So it's a conflict of thought and interest there. All right. Now, yeah, our accepted role. Yeah, our accepted role would I'm in the category of fuck that. So now over in New York City, apparently, remember we talked about the NU lost, one of their classmates lost a job offer for being pro-Hamas? Well, New York University law students say classmate losing job over pro-Hamas statement is violence. Yes, we're still defining the word violence. Raina Workman said Israeli bears full responsibility for Hamas attacks that have killed thousands. Yes, the Israelis went over and armed those people. They bought them all the little paragliders. They gave them the logistics of the wind and the weather report to make sure that the flying conditions were good, and then actually gave them a runway. They built them a place to take off from their paragliding stuff so they could come in and kill a bunch of people. That's Israel's fault. Yes, it is. So anyway, New York University law students are rallying behind a student who lost a spot at a white shoe law firm for defending Hamas, saying the firm's decision to rescind the offer constitutes violence. Oh, yeah, you should see the bruises. And she even has a black eye. The Chicago-based Whitman Strawn withdrew its offer of employment to Raina Workman after the non-binary New York... Wait, are you sure they didn't rescind the offer when they found out the student was non-binary? Anyways, issued a statement claiming Israel bears full responsibility for the terrorist attacks that have left more than 1,300 dead, blah, 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 blah. The firm's decision is just one instance of systemic, concentrated violence Workman has experienced since issuing her anti-Israel pronouncement, according to a letter of support obtained by the Washington Free Beacon. Sounds like a FAFO situation to me. I mean, look, maybe. Look, what's this company called? Winston Strawn. Are they required to hire you? Are they required to hire you? Perhaps someone at Winston Strawn has ties to Israel, just doesn't want you working for them. You're not guaranteed a job from anyone. Sorry. But again, the students say not withdrawing the offer is violence. And again, show me some bruises, show me some, fractured bones, and then I'll believe it's violence. Apparently, now we're going to move on to some other stuff. A Democratic congressman threatened to call cops on citizen journalists rather than ask questions on Hamas. I guess it's still. Apparently, this is a congressman, and someone came to interview the congressman, apparently a citizen journalist. Here it is.
Congressman Allred, do you regret calling for the release of millions of dollars to Hamas?
We're on federal property. Can't do this here.
Congressman Allred, do you regret calling for the release of millions of dollars to Hamas?
You really can't do that.
Congressman Allred, do you regret calling for the release of millions of dollars to Hamas?
You really can't
I'll get the
do that
Capitol
in
Police
here.
for you.
Do you regret voting against Iron Dome funding as Hamas attacked Israel with rockets aimed at civilians?
So anyway,
Federal property. Stop doing this.
Why are you standing with Hamas over Israel?
All right.
Why are you supporting Biden's open border policies?
We'll get the Capitol Police for you.
Why did you funnel taxpayer dollars to a group hosting drag shows for children?
okay, so anyway, I don't know why this is a story, but it is interesting that he's threatening to call the cops on this person asking questions. Anyway, moving on. Washington Free Beacon, human rights group official says Israel is the sole reason that Hamas exists. We're hearing this a lot too. Again, and this is the kind of the theme of the show today. It's like, who to blame? Okay. And they're twisting and turning and strapping things to their chest to find ways to blame Israel on this. I'm sorry, that was a really poor choice of words. But an official at a human rights group that claims the lobby for the release of political prisoners blamed Israel as the sole reason Hamas exists and praised the terrorist group for babysitting Israelis, kids, and babies that it took hostage. Oh my God. Oh my God. Abdul Rahman Ayash, who works for the DC-based Freedom Initiative, made the comments at his organization, or as his organization has been pressing Congress for the release of Muslim Brotherhood cleric Salah Sultan from Egyptian prison. Well, what the fuck do they have to do with releasing someone from an Egyptian prison? His remarks could raise questions about the Freedom Initiative, which describes itself as dedicated to advocating for prisoners wrongfully detained in the Middle East. Yeah, I think those children that were kidnapped by Hamas are being wrongfully detained in the Middle East. FTG. Fuck that guy. In front page, Israel works permits for Gaza enabled the Hamas attack. You can read that one. That's the one I was talking about earlier. I mean, they have work permits for the people in Gaza to work in Israel. And they're saying that Gazans got permits to work inside Israel. They came as killers and grapists. I'm disguising some kind of word there. You can read about that. It'll be in the links. I'm out of time. Holy shit. All right. Other things. An article on the moral equivalence means either moral confusion or hatred of Israel. It seems like, again, this is part of the theme today, how somehow everything that's happening there is Israel's fault. And so you have people like Cornel West, who says, as I've said for the past 50 years, a precious Palestinian child has the same value as a precious Israeli child. David Cronin, editor of the Electronic Intifada, a large pro-Palestinian anti-Israel website. Palestinian babies are just as precious as my new daughter. Well, a second example is to avoid condemning. They're refusing to condemn Hamas. That's what the point is. And so they're saying that, because Israel has had to take measures to not get blown up by the people who come in from Gaza, that they are causing the people from Gaza to suffer so that they deserve what has happened to them. And that if you're there, they want their babies to be, safe, then the Gazan babies be safe. Well, the Israelis aren't threatening the Gazan babies. That's not how it's working. So in the New York Post, iconic Jewish New York deli vandalized with a swastika after pro-Israel social media posts. So they were supporting Israel and got, I always hate these. Because this is in chalk. I don't know. Anyway, there's been vandalism around the world. There's been people Jewish people in Germany have had have Stars of David painted on their doors. That's very concerning when that kind of shit happens in Germany, and I'm sure it's happening here. There's vandalism and shit going on all over the world. And Marriott is going to host an anti-Israel group's annual conference. The Council on American Islamic Relations defended Hamas attacks that killed 1,500 people. Well, they're going to have Marriott's going to be hosting one of their annual conferences. Look, I don't know what they want Israel to do or want Marriott to do. Marriott, maybe after that, should cancel this, but they're not. Oh my gosh, Linda Sarsour is going to be there. Oh, she is a gem if you know anything about Linda Sarsour. All right, we're gonna make it quick because now I gotta go. There was a terror attack in Brussels linked to the murder of a Palestinian boy in Illinois. Self-identified member of ISIS opened fire on Swedish soccer fans in town for a match in Brussels, killing 2 and wounding another. After an intensive manhunt, Belgian police cornered the attacker and shot him. He later died of his wounds. So again, there's lots of examples of this going on around the world that, all of a sudden, they're retaliating for what's happening. In the hardest news to find, Ukrainian firm tied to Hunter Biden planned meetings with D.C. lawmakers after Joe Biden got prosecutor fired, according to a memo. They're finding more evidence of wrongdoing from the Biden family. Shocker. Also, FBI formed a China-linked entity, by the way. Whoops.
China is asshole.
Sent Biden business a $3 million thank you gift. A $3 million Biden family business received from the China-linked CEFC, China Energy Company, was a thank you gift for providing investment opportunities, according to an IRS whistleblower interview of Biden associate Rob Walker, recently released by the House Ways and Means Committee. So it wasn't a bribe or a payment. It was just a thank you gift. More details in the article. And there's an article here about how the left is coming to terms with the failure of to use lawfare to get Trump out of the race. See, they haven't really been able to stick that insurrectionist label, even though they say it all the time on Trump, and he's in probably legally he is absolutely entitled to run for president, and they're trying to get him off ballots and stuff, and so they're having to they're kind of bummed. Here's the main thing. Okay, so here's how it works. They go after Trump with as many legal attacks as possible, and then nothing here. And then they think they're going to get Biden's second term. Well, that's not working out because Trump's still running and they can't get him out of the race. They're trying their damnedest. And in fact, Trump is leading in many polls, which is wild. In fact, here, RCP general election. That's the RCP poll average. Takes all the polls, puts them together. And who's leading? Well, that little red line there, that would be Donald Trump. And this blue line's Biden. So if they ran today, Trump would beat Biden. Is that, I mean, surprise, surprise, motherfucker. As Gomer Pyle would say, surprise, 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 motherfucker. All right, I don't have any more time, but I have several other articles that are in the links today that you would love to read, and I'm going to let you find them yourself. Let's look. I got to go because I'm going to be late, but I will have links to everything that we've done so far, plus the links that I haven't gotten to. And now I am doing the show on YouTube, Rumble, and Twitter, but I don't think you can say anything to me on Twitter. But it's worth, checking out over there a lot of you got kicked off of Twitter, so I know how that works. Hello, Renee Mayette, by the way. So I got to go. Thanks everybody for being here. I'm going to try to do this show better tomorrow because I had some major problems this morning, but thanks for all of your support. Thank you to the sponsors today. C. Thomas, Black Hebrew Israelite, and Ty Alexander. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I got to go. My name is P. Dog Knight. And I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P. Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.